deal. Check. And you can hear me as well?
I can hear you great.
Beautiful, brother. All right, you ready to knock into this thing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Good to see you. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Jameson Tank here with Spencer Thomas. How you been, brother?
I've been great.
Living a dream? Not too bad?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to see you, man. Glad you could come on. I haven't done an episode in a while other than the Harvey Street one yesterday, so we're kicking the show back off. I think this will be like episode 118 or some shit like that, but thank you guys for tuning back in is what I'm saying. All right, man. Good to see you again. You've been doing well. Everything's been going good. The Windjammer was dope, I assume. That was a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And how'd that go? Pretty smooth? Got to play the new record?
Went pretty smooth. Yeah, I got to play a lot of songs from the new record.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see people go, oh, like this is the guy who plays keys in Futurebirds, but like they're like, oh, he does. This is the thing. You know? Like some people. It was almost like lore, like, oh, they'd
heard about it.
He does some solo work, and you know, so to release the record, and people go, oh, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's
and
cool.
Is this your first, like, how you've been putting out tunes for a little while?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what I wanted to figure out first before we got too deep in is like, when did you start doing solo stuff, and when did you start doing the Bird stuff, and where the lines kind of cross on that? You know what I mean? Were you doing this before you joined the Birds or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So you started what, like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, it was like, well, I'll start with when I started doing my own music. I was playing in another band in Mississippi. I'm from Jackson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were a Georgia boy. No way, man.
Born in Jackson.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, what brought you here? Just the band or...
I mean,
music scene? Or?
Music scene. Lars and Will Hefner from Hefner,
of course,
are buddies of mine from Mississippi as well.
I didn't know they were from Mississippi. That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
Reagan was born in Biloxi too.
Damn, man, I don't know how I missed that, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
I kind of think of all you cats in the same, like you guys, the Hefner guys, like Ryan, you know, like Drew Beskin. I think all you cats is in like the same category, like the you know, that little group that hangs out. You know, I think it's cool. All cool guys.
yeah, man, lucky to have them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So from Jackson. When do you end up coming to Georgia, or you're just playing in bands in Jackson and stuff? And
I was playing in a band called Young Valley in Jackson. We did like a country rock thing, and we toured around a good bit. And I started stacking up some songs that we would try with the band. At the time, I was drumming and singing.
Really? Okay.
Doing like Levon Helm thing.
Yeah.
It was more in that route, a little more country rock.
Yeah. You were singing lead?
I was singing lead on a few songs, and so I mean, we kind of traded around the lead singing and songwriting, and that was a really great experience for me. But you know, there were definitely moments sitting and playing drums and watching and being like, what is it like to be in this space?
Yeah,
you know,
like right in front of you.
Stage center, you know, with that light, as opposed to, you know, we didn't always have the full production, so sometimes I'd be like, yeah, I heard you singing, I didn't know where it was coming from, you know, like I can't tell you how many times I got that because we'd play in some dark bar somewhere where there's like one stage light, you know, so they'd be like, yeah, I heard you singing, I didn't see anybody else singing, you know.
Drummer lighting isn't usually the priority, right?
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's so true.
But I started stacking up songs that were a little more delicate and required me playing an acoustic guitar, you know, because we'd try them and I'd play drums and I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's weird to kind of hand off the music part to just everybody else, but you know what you're doing just rhythmically, right? That's kind of weird to sell over, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, and a lot of the songs in Young Valley, I did that and it worked, and it felt great. But it just, I felt myself starting to do something different, and I was like, all right, well, let me just hold on to these songs, and it became, you know, 3, 4, 6. Like I started collecting enough where I said, well, fuck it, I'll just book some dates and make a record. And this was 2018.
Okay.
So,
a couple years ago.
Yeah, so I made the record, and made my first record, Hangin' Tough, in 2018, released it June 14th, coming up, June 14th of 2019, so almost its 5th year anniversary.
Love it. Okay, and you toured that a little bit. I didn't know all this. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And was that like, all right, so you kind of had some like songs that were being shelved in the band and the catalog build up, and you were just like, these just got to come out, right? Is that how you felt about it? Which is cool.
Yeah, and I never really taken that kind of step. You know, I'd always grown up in bands, especially because I grew up playing drums more.
Okay.
or bass. Like I always grew up kind of in a background spot.
Yeah, gotcha.
A little more behind the scenes. So
of course.
Doing that for myself was something that was pretty new.
Yeah.
I mean, to decide to do that I'm 32 now, so I guess it was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
I would say that's older than most people get started. Really standing in front of a microphone and singing and writing their own songs.
Right?
You
I
know?
think usually that, that's being figured out a lot earlier. So the drumming, did that give you a different perspective though, having been behind the scenes? Like to go from, you could somewhat, you don't have to be the man on the drums, but when you're up front, you kind of got to be the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you are the show kind of in a weird way.
Yeah. It gave me the perspective of being able to band lead in a way that doesn't feel controlling.
Interesting. What do you mean by that? Could you give me a little more definition on that?
Just, and this is not saying that anybody in my previous band was that way, but I just mean like from the perspective of, I know the drum language. I've played a little bit of everything and like I played bass in like
guitar,
a band in high school, drums in that band, played keys in Futurebirds. So like I know the language of all the instruments, and I kind of know the way to like, hey, this is what I want, but other than that,
do your thing.
You're here. Do you, baby? Like
yeah.
So I think I learned that just being around the horn.
Yeah.
I learned how to band lead in a way that I felt is effective. And also was like in band in school and college and stuff. So.
I think that's well said, because like until you've been back there on the drums and somebody's like, I need you going, like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I want to do it my thing. It's like you knew that because you experienced that. So it kind of helps you be a better leader. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you find it hard though to make the change from like I'm saying, like drums, like you don't have to be like carrying the whole energy of the well, you kind of are in a different way, but like to being up front, was that a hard change to make?
Yeah, I didn't
at first, at least.
I didn't think that it was something that I was supposed to do.
Okay.
And I was and not in a derogatory way, kind of talked into like, your spot is back here.
Ooh, okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
And it's just a way that configuration got comfortable, and so I thought like, oh, I'm not really like
I'm not that guy.
I'm not really that guy.
Yeah.
And I kind of assumed that position by really starting just playing in bars and making the money to pay for the record in the first place,
Okay,
so I'd go play for a couple hours, make $200, put it in the sock drawer, 2 bar gigs equaled 1 day at the studio,
dude,
so I just turn it around.
Hard knocks, baby.
Yeah, hard knocks. But that gave me the place where I go, look, if I can get the uninterested bar goer like crushing a hamburger in the corner to like look up and at least acknowledge what I'm doing. Yeah. That's the toughest crowd.
Yes, it sure is. They'll just get easier after that, right?
Yeah, like if people come to your show, then like you've already passed that barrier.
The menu venue, you know, you're well past
the menu. Yeah. I've never heard that.
That's good.
We always called them restaurant patio rock stars.
That's good too, though, man. Played many of those shows, as you know.
I know. I was riding around with my mom, or I was riding around with my dad. I was just back in. I grew up in a suburb north of Jackson called Madison, Mississippi, and it was just kind of like tasteless, cultureless sort of stuff. I mean, you know what it is.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's like Jackson's Alpharetta.
Okay,
and,
gotcha.
And we were just driving around past this place that is now a crawfish hut that used to be like a Mexican spot. And I remember I played on that patio, you know, and I remember being like so nervous. You know, I was just like, I played on that patio, but I knew that I had a purpose there. I'm like, if I can get through 2 hours and then I can get this money and then I can go to the studio and I can make this record, and it's just one thing leads after the other.
Love it. Foot to the pedal. I mean, it's just like, I love that. That's like being all in, you know what I mean? The roundness of, hey, let's tour so we can make another record. I love that. That's cool. It's so cool. And I mean, surely you got to test some of the songs out too at those shows, right? Got to give them the old road testing. Yeah,
I mean, in some ways, I miss it. You know, in some way, like
that's the hungriest you'll ever be. You know what I mean?
Right,
you know what I mean for it?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, because I mean, you get older and you wonder like like you keep trying to find the thing that works,
Mm-hmm.
and you're kind of like jaded with all of the other things.
Yes.
And but at that age, you go like, fuck it, I'll try anything.
Like everything was like the biggest opportunity ever.
Right.
You know, you didn't know that playing bars forever isn't exactly where you want to be, but it was like, we're making money, we're playing, you know?
But everywhere was up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like any
anything.
way you went was up.
Yeah.
And that was so nice.
It was, right?
And that was so nice in that perspective. But I went to, so my Athens connection really started happening with Matt Patton of Drive By Truckers.
Okay.
He had a studio in Water Valley, Mississippi.
Okay. I didn't know
Has
that.
a studio in Water Valley, Mississippi called Dial Back Sound.
Dial Back Sound. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you're recording there, the album?
I did. So Young Valley did their we did our second record there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and did my solo record there with my friend Bronson too, who also spent time recording it. He did some stuff at Chase Park in Athens. He used to live in Athens.
The name sounds familiar. What's his last name?
Bronson too.
Bronson too? Should I know him? Is he still an Athens cat?
No, he's not.
No,
he's
okay.
not. No,
Okay.
but he was at Dialback for a long time in
Okay.
Mississippi.
Interesting.
And, so I did first record with him, and like Futurebirds had gone and done some recording over there as well. So like there were just a lot of those ties. Young Valley opened up for Futurebirds a few times in Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, Proud Larry's.
Yeah, I know Proud Larry's. It's a cool
Mhm.
spot, right? Probably
Yeah.
what, 200 cap, right?
Yeah, something
small
like
spot?
that. Yeah,
That's awesome. So you knew the band then, or you'd played with them then? And
Yeah,
that was
I
the
met
first
him.
glance?
I met him 10 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Just on the road and stuff?
Yeah, just in Jackson. They
No
came and
way.
played in Jackson, and we opened for them.
That's so cool, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah.
So I mean, like I remember hearing them sound check with Virginia Slims. And,
Yeah.
and,
That's a song.
yeah, I'm like, that's a song.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was like touch and go knowing those guys.
Yeah.
We had gone through years playing Young Valley, just road dogging it, sleeping on floors.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful, and also you come back and feel like you aged 2 or 3 years in like 1 month of touring. Yeah.
Oh man. Doing pretty much like the southeastern rounds, kind of, or
No,
did you guys go all U.S.?
We went up to Seattle, Chicago,
Sheesh.
Boston. I mean, we went
yes.
all over. I mean, it was, some of it was silly.
Yeah.
Some of it was like, it wasn't warranted for us to go play in Reno.
Yeah.
But
we wanted to.
But we did. And,
Yeah.
we had one of those like, oh, I didn't know we were having music tonight. Like we had stuff like that happen. But it was nice to learn. Like in those days with Young Valley, we became closer, and we also were able to just go like, these people didn't even know we were playing tonight.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's show them what we got.
Yeah, let's give it to them.
Yeah, I mean, and so there are parts of that where like touring was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Like it was just mind blowing, and being at some of these places for the first time.
Yeah.
Now I've been to Denver like 20 times.
Yeah, you've seen it.
But the first time I went to Denver, I was like,
holy shit.
yeah.
This stuff's legal here?
Yeah.
So wait, the time you're in this band, though, you're what, like 20 to 23-ish? Because you said you started the solo thing around 25.
Yeah, 23.
Okay,
yeah, 23, I would say is like 22, 23 is when we really started hitting Young Valley stuff hard, because it was right after I was at school at Delta State.
State.
In
Mississippi?
Cleveland, Mississippi. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And did you graduate from there, or did you...
Eventually.
Yeah. Well said.
I dropped out, but
Yeah.
I had like 13 credit hours left and finished online during the pandemic.
Yes, that's way later.
Yeah, way later.
Just to have it, just so you could check it off?
Yeah, I
Love
mean,
it.
it was like my mom really pushed me on that, and then she went and she found this program, and she was like, hey, turns out you only have 13 credits left to
That's
finish.
so close. Like, that's like one semester.
I know, yeah. So, I mean, I spread it out over 2 semesters and then just knocked it out.
I
And I'm
love
like,
that.
Yeah,
That's
and-
cool,
and
man.
now, the other day, I was just like putting some books away, and I was like, oh, here's my degree.
I graduated. Cue dust flying.
Yeah.
It's getting used every day. I love it, though, man, because I didn't know you. I really, your whole history up until honestly, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I just knew you as the Birds guy until you started putting out like even like Desperate Man was one of the first ones I had checked out where I was like, oh man, Spencer's making really cool tunes that aren't Futurebirds things.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Okay. So I didn't know, I've never listened to your other band. Are you guys on Spotify and everything?
Yeah.
I need to go
it's on
check that out.
Spotify.
That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize you had this whole, I assumed you'd played, but I didn't realize you had this whole touring life before the Birds, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and once I started, so we're about to tie it all together.
I love it.
But
love
anyway,
it.
yeah.
No rush. Do
like,
your thing, man.
But on my first record, like Jay Gonzalez from Drive By Truckers also played on it. You know, they're like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, we'll send it over to Jay. And Jay played some organ. So like,
Sweet.
I started getting in touch with Athens stuff.
Yeah.
With Lars and Will and Matt and Jay of the Truckers. And so once I made the move over here, which weird time, August of 2020.
Ooh, yeah, weird.
You know, Thomas Johnson, Tojo from Futurebirds reached out and he was like, hey, excited you're in town.
Yeah.
Love your solo record.
Yeah.
Why don't you come hang out at the house? And, you know, so we hung out and like, and, you know, just going to the house and hanging out was kind of a luxury at that point. You know, he's like, hey, we're out here in Farmington. We're not really hanging out with anybody. Like, as long as you got a negative COVID test or whatever, just come on.
Just come by.
And so, and we did, and we were just, you know, sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
Playing songs for each other, you know,
Acoustic
drinking.
guitars,
You just listened to songs and laughing, having a time. And the next day he was like, hey, our drummer Jeff can't make it to these shows we're doing. They were doing like backyard shows. And
way
so
back.
he's like, hey, do you want to learn 25 Futurebirds songs and get on the road in a few weeks? I mean, this was almost immediate. Like within the first month of me living in town, I hopped in the van with
Really?
them.
That's crazy. So you just learned them that quick and just hopped on drumming. Interesting. Okay. How did those gigs go? Pretty smoothly or?
Pretty smooth. Yeah. I mean, drumming was like, I taught drum lessons in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So like drumming.
That was your thing for a while.
Drumming was my thing for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Thomas was like, well, I know you play keys and like, we've been looking to have a keys player. We're interested in that kind of thing. And so come about next year, that drummer quit. I played some interim shows in between.
On the drums again?
On the drums again.
Okay.
And then when we recorded the first Bloomin' EP with Carl Brummel from My Morning Jacket.
Of course, yeah.
Tom Myers came in. They're like, we're getting this guy Tom to play drums. I was like, well, who's this fucking guy Tom? I've been playing drums in the band.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, but we want you to come play keys because we know you play keys. And I was like, cool. So I just dropped in the studio.
Yeah.
Going like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to play keys now. And it's been that way since, May 2021. So
really?
Yeah.
And that's quite like the seminal Birds record to just hop in on. That's a great one. I love it, dude. Hell yeah. And but you hadn't mentioned keys at all really before that. Like you just played keys like on the side, or you like were keys player?
A little bit. Played keys on the side. Yeah, I missed a portion there. So I was a voice major at Delta State.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And being in the music school, applied piano lessons were like, you got to
do that. Every music major, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's where I really started getting into it. And I mean, like I didn't grow up really playing keys. I fiddled around on a keyboard in high school and stuff. But
of course.
Yeah, but that was where I really learned to apply it.
Okay. Was in the session you're talking about? Or you mean
just in college?
In college, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I didn't learn how to like break all of my classical rules until I started playing. For about a year, I played with this guy named Jimbo Mathis.
Okay.
He's from Mississippi.
Okay.
He's from Corinth, Mississippi, or he calls it Corinth. And I call him Uncle Jimbo because he's like like a shaman of vibes, you know, like, and he just like mixes up a stew of music. I mean, and he knows how to just like bring different cats together and work it all out.
Yeah.
And I got to tour with him for kind of a year in between leaving Young Valley and moving to Athens.
Okay.
While I was doing solo stuff too.
Yeah. And you were on the keys for this that you were playing with this band on the keys.
I was playing with Jimbo on the keys, and I would open for him. And I was playing with my friend Pete, who played in a band called Water Liars, which is also from Mississippi.
Okay.
Incredible band. It's one of those one of those wish more people knew.
Yeah.
The
Water
great-
Liars? Is that
Water
what you said?
Liars,
I'm gonna
yeah.
check them out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pete put out his second solo record and invited me on tours. So this was like 2019. I pretty much would do like East Coast loop with Pete, take a day off. East Coast loop with Jimbo, take a day off. West Coast loop with Pete, West Coast loop with Jimbo. Like I went,
Damn.
I'm talking like 3 months. I just was nonstop.
Jeez, I don't know how you survived that, bro.
I mean, the school of hard knocks.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
you know?
Yeah, that's
It's
what
like,
you do, man.
just kind of fought through it, and it
Yeah.
was really like the only way out is through.
Okay,
And
yeah.
So I learned to be a keys player within that place.
That's scope.
So,
Okay.
So I had that knowledge to kind of work off of.
Yeah. And you're obviously enjoying it. What was it like for like, I mean, obviously completely different thing than the drums. Like going from drums to keys was like, fuck, man, I really like playing drums. Or was it like, I'm over drums. Keys would be sick, you know? Or didn't think about it.
It was nice to play something that had melody.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
nice to offer something melodic.
Yeah, not rhythmically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
Right.
also I had to learn not to play all the time.
Ooh, okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
drums are like, you're in.
The whole time. Yeah. No breaks, pretty much.
Yeah, unless you're not drumming. You're either drumming or not drumming. Yeah, but keys, you're kind of like,
Selective.
and then you take a moment and you go, oh, okay, you got it. All right, now get yeah.
Well said.
You
So
have to find your spots.
Yeah.
And especially with Futurebirds, it's like, oh, pedal steel, oh,
yeah.
electric guitar, okay. All right, then I go. You know,
there's a lot of cats in that, man. A lot of
Yeah.
weaving, I guess, right?
a lot of weaving. Yeah, so that's what I had to learn more to not play.
Yeah, which is underrated as a musician, honestly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a key detail that can make a good player great,
Mhm.
is knowing when to play, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you start doing that more, and that kind of leads you into. But all right, when you're the Birds and you're playing with the Birds drums every week, having a good time, same kind of thing. Is it like when they ask you to play keys on the record, you're like, fuck, are you like losing the drum spot, or is it like, nah, I'll play keys, it'd be better?
I don't know. I'd been a drummer for such a long time that I was cool with it.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was
sweet.
cool to apply myself differently.
Yeah, new challenge.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But like nobody asked me to play drums in Athens because I showed up here playing keys, and
Gotcha.
in Jackson nobody asked me to play keys for anything
Because you're
you know?
playing drums.
So-
Well, it seems like it worked out nicely, man.
Yeah.
Did you have trouble providing key, or not trouble, but like was it challenging to just hop in a band like Futurebirds and like figure out keys for something on like Bloomin', you know what I mean? Like the whole was it tough?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
with Carl right there.
yeah, it's like
You know,
oh yeah,
I'm like,
pressure.
cool. Yeah, I like literally listened to you riding around in my car in high school. And,
Yeah. We're just making a record now.
and now we're just making a record.
And were
And
you
I'm
guys
supposed to be like a professional.
supposed to be?
Yeah.
But I'm not yet.
It was so funny. I laugh about this, and I took a picture of it because the first song we were doing was a song called Sedan Man, which is one of
Okay.
Carter's songs. And,
Yeah.
and I look over, first time meeting Tom Myers. Tom has full charts for everything,
Okay.
chords and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're playing drums and you have the charts. And I remember we had the working title, we called it Creeps, and we had the working title, and I literally just had a sheet of paper in front of the keyboard and it just said Creeps G for the key. I didn't write anything else that entire session.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I've as much as I prepare, like I always have felt like my best moments can just come out when I'm listening to what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And then find my spot.
Yes, like keys are kind of reactionary to
Yes.
what everybody else is doing,
Yes.
right? Like you're not the foundation, you're improving the foundation, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. It's got to be nerve-wracking. Like, this is your first time with the band, and the band's made a couple records by then, right? Like it's like what? That's their fourth, or
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you count Bloomin' a record, then that
I guess so. Or is it? How many songs is Bloom? Is it Is it technically EP length?
Bloomin' was 2 EPs.
Right. Okay.
That we put out as a record.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just thinking about the stakes there kind of high for you, man. I'm surprised that wasn't more nerve wracking, but it's cool that you were just able to go in there and no charts and just do your thing.
Well, I mean, it was like the same as like, all right, well, if I'm gonna make a record, I should go pick up an acoustic guitar and go play at the bars down the street. You know, it's just like every new obstacle comes with you going like, well, I got to try it once, you know?
Yeah.
And like all of my learning experiences have been me being thrown into situations.
Which I love, dude. That's
throwing myself into them. You know?
That's how you learn, man. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can over prepare in the pre-production state. You know what I mean? It's like, just do the thing, man. Love it. Well, cool, man. And any particular on that Bloomin'? Like, I'm just kind of going through the chronological now at this point, but like anything particular parts about the Bloomin' that you loved like making on that one, or like any tracks that stick out to you as like, oh, this is where I was finding my place in this band, or like any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Put Up, Keep Up was one. That's one of Thomas's songs.
Yeah.
And so I found some really cool stuff on the Wurlitzer there.
Yeah.
I was really learning to like, you know, they had a full organ in B3, and so I was playing with that on College Try. I kind of helped Daniel with like the second verse. He was like, I'm still trying to figure this out, and we sat in a separate room, and I just, I wouldn't say that I even really helped him write it. I was just kind of like being like, oh, like this, oh, I like that, just just throwing words around until we found it.
Yeah,
and you know, and then I was like, oh, I got this harmony idea, and they're like, all right, well, go sing the harmony. You know, they were like, you got it, go do it.
Just do it. Yeah. That's how you want to make one. That's fun, man.
Yeah. So they, it was nice to feel very included in that space as opposed to like, this is our project and you're being hired to do this.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So didn't it all feel like hired gun? It felt like you were collaborating. It was cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like College Try is such a good one. I want to know. I've always wanted to know who wrote that guitar thing at the start. The down, 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 because that's so tough, dude. It's so tough.
There's an early demo, and I told Daniel, I was like, Daniel, you gotta show the social media following this demo, because it's like there's a demo of they were like out in a cabin recording it, and it's clear that it's been like late in the evening, where it's just like everybody kind of loosely going bow, gow, 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 gow. But that was where the riff came from.
Yeah, and
know?
It's great. I love it. That's like one of my favorite pieces. Like that little guitar thing. I'm like, oh, that's like so like smart. I don't know. I wish I'd have thought of that. It's cool.
Yeah, I know, it's so smart, but it's like completely simple.
Yeah,
too.
it's like, damn, that's like I could have come up with that. You know what I mean? It's like cool, but like obviously didn't. You know what I mean? And then when it kind of comes out of that. I guess it's you on the keys or somebody. You can hear an organ or something. It kind of clears up when the guitars go down, if that makes sense. If I think I'm hearing that right, which I've always liked, you know. It's cool. Yeah. So that was like kind of like, I think that's crazy that that's the first one you're on. I kind of thought you were involved earlier than that. Near the end of making that though, was it kind of like, oh, we're all going on the road and I'm going to play keys, or was it like, was there official offer, or was it like anything like that, or?
We were kind of in a spot where I was playing drums for some shows.
Okay.
And, you know, and I was telling Toe John, I was like, my thing is, you know, like my solo work is my baby. You know? It's like, that's the thing. And they're like, well, cool. Like they wanted to get somebody on drums because that way keys is a more auxiliary instrument. It's a more like, if you miss one, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
They needed somebody a little more consistent just on drums, and
like changing drummers would be a lot harder than just like having you get in on the keys when you could, right?
Exactly. So they've been able to allow that here and there. Like I went to do South by Southwest, and so I missed a show there, or the day after my record release, everybody played like a one-off thing, and you know, Beaufort, like Carolina Shore, you know, and they're like, it's the day after you release. You don't worry about this one. You know,
that's nice of them. Yeah.
So it is really nice of them.
That flexibility.
I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
Because that's the kind of line that I'm trying to draw. Like when I was thinking about what I was going to ask you on this, it's like we've got to do some sort of like a prehistory reference to get us to the album that's out now. Of course.
Sure.
So like obviously that's one thing I was going to ask was just like, you know, like your solo stuff's your baby. Like how do you draw the line between that and birds on like order of importance kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of got to be smart, like when your record's coming out, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Or do you think about that stuff, or you just do it when you can?
I mean, I try to do it when I can. You know, I'm there to support their dream, and when it comes time to support mine, they're usually pretty
That's awesome.
understanding about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
Because they know how it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and at the end of the day, like it is a blast. It is my job.
Yeah.
But it is their dream, and
Yeah.
I'm here to help when it is required of me.
Love it.
And but you know, I gotta
do your thing.
Go do my thing.
Yeah, like you got songs in you that got to come out. That's
Exactly.
like when you're a songwriter, like, you've got to put them out, or it'll bug the shit out of you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Or you'll just like mope.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just endless moping. I'm like anytime I've ever moped, I just was like, oh, I'm just not writing it.
yeah. Like got to get it out, man. That's cool. I've always liked that, and I kind of relate to that. Like some cats, just like even if I played drums in a band, I'd still have to put shit out. You know what I mean? It's like you just kind of have to, and it's nice. I mean, I guess it's great that you were able to make the transition from drums to keys, because I doubt you'd have that flexibility if you stay drums. You know what I mean? Like when they need a fucking drummer, they're gonna need a drummer. You know what I mean? The drummer. So
Yeah,
that's interesting. Well, good for you, man. That's great.
yeah.
Okay, so you do the Birds thing for a couple years. Are you saying that was like what, 2020? Is that right? Or
2021 is when we recorded the Bloomin' EP, so it was like May 2021.
okay,
And then into the late summer, early fall
okay,
is when we started doing 7-piece band.
yeah,
Tom was playing drums, I was playing keys.
okay.
And granted, this is kind of a hilarious story.
Tell me.
We were going to have this big old practice in Nashville.
Yeah.
And we were going to have this big... I failed to mention that a few times I filled in for B-Miles on bass.
Nice.
Over that 2020 to 2021 period as well. And we were going to get together at this space in 5 Points in Nashville.
Okay.
And we booked this spot, and then B-Miles had COVID.
Oh no.
And so I was in there playing bass, where I was supposed to be working on my keys stuff. I was playing bass, so Tom had a bass player to learn the songs with, you know.
Okay.
Because Tom was trying to learn a lot of the Futurebirds repertoire.
Gotcha.
And so I was filling in on bass. And then so Tom's first two shows, I was playing bass.
Welcome to the band.
Yeah, right. And then we had another situation that where Tom had COVID, and then I had to play drums. And then
You're just a good cat to have around, man.
well, I mean, it was just like I just made myself available.
Yeah.
And also at that time, like I taught some lessons at Full Moon for a while.
Yeah, I love Full Moon.
But other than that, it's like I taught lessons. I didn't do anything else. Oh, well, I worked at Jay's for about 3 months.
Jay's,
the liquor store.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I stocked the beer cooler.
Yeah, nice. Hard knocks, man. Hard knocks.
Yeah. But yeah, we just had this moment where I was drumming, I was bass playing, and then once we finally got to do the 7-piece band, I was like, I have not had one rehearsal.
Welcome to the keys.
And so again, just like being dropped in the studio, you know, after recording drums on the demos, I drop in to play keys in the studio, and then we're playing this big show in Nashville, and I was like, all right. And so I just really use the volume knob.
Yeah.
You know,
Which you luckily can on the keys.
Yeah,
you can work the volume a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm not too confident in this section.
Right. But I learned that, and like for Jimbo, it was just like piano, like it was pretty simple, but for Birds, it's very involved with Wurlitzer, organ, piano, synthesizer.
Okay.
I'll do tambourine. I'll do background vocals.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that is going on, and I like it because there's structure to everything that I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing keys on a song, you're picking up tambourine, and you're leaning into a mic, that kind of deal. Well, I'm assuming you play keys on most of them, of course, but or I've seen you guys, but That's cool that you're able to like. I mean, even like that makes me think of Hefner because they do a similar sort of thing where like if somebody's not playing, they're on the tambourine or they're on the shaker or on the synthesizer, which is cool. That kind of keep the mind fresh and keep you excited about playing every night.
Yeah. And I think that it's like it's good to have one and the other. Like to go to band lead and rehearse and then play shows with my own band.
Okay.
And then to come back and go like, all right, cool. I get to just show up and play keys.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fucking man, right?
You don't have to be the man. Yeah, as I know, you understand.
Of course,
your name's on the posters and the stickers, and
something
and
like
you're
that.
also on the emails and the
the
on
CC
the phone
and the promotion and the social and everything. Everything is you've got to be the man, man. It wears on you, right?
Yeah,
it's hard.
And you want to be the man because you want to get your songs out.
Yes, right.
And you want people to hear them, and like those are such rewarding moments. But at the same time, when I do that, it feels more satisfying and more relieving to go on a Futurebirds tour and go, all right, somebody else has booked the hotels.
Yeah.
Somebody else booked the shows.
Itinerary.
There's an itinerary.
Yes. Tickets are being sold by not me through the DMs. It's like somebody else is working hard on this. It's nice to not be the man. It gives being the man a certain gratitude when you're able to not be the man. Does that make sense? If you're the man all the time, it'd wear you out.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That was another thing I was going to ask. Is like, I'm just trying to learn like about you. Like, how different is it? Like it's cool that you can do both. Is what I'm saying. I know it's not a question, but it's like a statement. It's like not many cats you see that can just leave a very successful band and in between, do their own thing and be super successful at it. So that's cool, man.
Super successful, definitely.
That's what it is, man. Right. The songs made it out. I consider that super successful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. No, I mean, still learning my way around it. I mean, just over the course of this time that we've been talking about with Futurebirds, I was making this record. Okay. I was in Chase Park. I would, we track the songs. I go back. Me and Ryan would do some overdubbing sessions, and
just like A and B at Chase Park, or always A, or
A and B, and I mean, I even recorded some background vocals at home.
Nice.
Like I got some friends from Mississippi to sing background vocals, and I recorded with them in Mississippi,
cool.
and like, so all of this stuff was happening all while I was on the road with Futurebirds. So I would just like when I was playing solo at the bar, I would take that Futurebirds dough from those shows and then apply it to making this record.
Hard knocks, baby.
Hard knocks, yeah.
It goes round and round, man. Keeps you in the game, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
And I was just like incubating.
Yeah, just like cooking, and like at the same time you're on this huge bird, like that tour's got to be the biggest Birds tour up until I guess now, but like that was like Red Rocks Ryman kind of shit, like so like you're busy bee, you know what I mean, between the two of that. Yeah. It's great that you were just cooking and then the time kind of cleared up for you to put it out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Athfest last year.
Yes, I saw you. It was a great set, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, really good. That was the first time seeing you. I was like, oh, dude, that's great. Desperate Man, great song, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this cat's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Very
thank
cool.
You.
Tell me more about it. You were saying, I'm sorry.
But no, it was just the first, like, I had played a couple of full band shows around Athens, but it was the first like real iteration of it, like that was like, that felt right. It was like, okay, this is the band.
Yeah, and that was like Lars on guitar, right? And it was
Lars, Ryan Engelberger on bass.
Okay.
Ben Hackett was on aux percussion and sax.
That's quite the band there.
Andrew McFarlane on drums.
Okay, I don't know Andrew, but I know the rest of them.
He was in Neighbor Lady.
Oh, okay, I know Neighbor Lady. Interesting. Okay, yeah, that's tight band, dude. Good deal.
And then Drew Beskin.
Yeah, the goat.
The goat.
The goat, as we call him.
Yeah, the vibe man.
Yes.
Just playing rhythm guitar when I was playing keys or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it was, and so that day I met George Fontaine Sr.
Okay.
Of New West / Strolling Bones.
Yeah, records. Cool.
And that's when I got to talking with him, and he's like, well, let's have a meeting.
Yeah.
And so I met George and Lee and Stacy of Strolling Bones, and they were like, we like to put out the Joke of Life. We love the
that's
record.
so cool. Yeah.
And so
Was it done at that point?
It was basically, I
Yeah.
mean, it was like mixes that I had been tweaking with forever.
Yeah.
Me and Nate Nelson.
Yeah, I know Nate. Nate's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just me and Nate just mixing.
Yeah,
mixing.
just working on it.
Just working on it. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, and to the point where George was joking with me about like, oh, well, Spencer's never going to be satisfied with this mix, you know? And so I finally got it mixed and mastered in like November of this last year.
Okay.
Of 2023.
Wow, a while ago. Okay.
So, I mean, I started tracking this record in 2021, September 2021.
Yeah.
And over this time, like you said, busy touring schedule.
Big tour.
Yeah. And so just in the off time, like I'd book a couple of days with Ryan.
Yeah.
Then once we got to that, I'd book a couple of days with Nate, just get it worked out.
Yeah.
And then we had the product and we signed an agreement and we were stoked on it and we said, all right, May 17th is going to be the day.
Yeah.
Let's get to work. And so that's when I was like, Garrett, I need photos.
Yeah.
My friend Cody Rogers from Mississippi, I was like, I need album artwork.
I love the artwork, by the way. It looks very like 70s, but cool. It's like very like a big, like big blocky. I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Continue on. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's just the, that was the look. That was.
Yeah, like the really strong. Oh God, I wish I could describe it. I wish I had like an example, but
I know
it looks so 70s.
I should have brought a record.
Yeah,
to
you should have brought me one, man. I loved it. Loved it. I'll buy one soon though.
Yeah.
So you get everybody involved, and you've got a date far out if you were done in November, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was like you got to be the man on promoting and everything. How did all that go? Was that pretty smooth for you? Just like because you're excited about the songs, you got Strolling Bones behind it, which is huge, by the way. It's so cool that they just like. You didn't even shop it around or anything. They just picked it up, kind of. That's really cool. That's great.
I mean, and I couldn't think of a better group. I mean, it's just like, they're like family, you know.
Everybody that comes on here and talks about them, they say nothing but great things about any of the Strolling Bones and New West stuff. Like, it's always good. It's never anything bad, which is awesome to hear.
Yeah. I mean, and it's true. I stand by it. Big, scary label stuff, you know. And They were just so helpful in getting all the administrative stuff out of the way. You know, the things where you're like, oh God, like I gotta get in my Bandcamp, but I don't like remember the password, and I gotta like change the profile pictures on everything, and you know, like that kind of nitty gritty. When you are the man, you're like, I want to put this all away.
Yeah, I don't want to do this.
I want to go. Can I go be a monk?
Yeah, this is not the part I signed up for.
Right. Exactly.
ISRC codes and promo clips and all this shit. It's like, damn it,
so much work.
So they handled all that.
I mean, they assisted. They did what they could. That was like, you know, the things that I could work on, that they needed my help with. But other than that, they were like, we were able to handle, you know, getting like a proper website built and making these more administrative changes, you know, like getting all the stuff on BMI and up to date, and just all that stuff was more in their court. Submitting songs to playlists like Submit Hub and things like that.
Stuff that the artist doesn't usually excel at, but they can excel at.
Can excel at. They've had more experience in it. So, you know, had a much better luck for me, which is not saying a whole lot when it comes to my numbers, but it's getting there, and it's new, and I understand that like my market, my like 70s songwriter, like Jackson Brown, Bruce Springsteen.
I was gonna say Springsteen, Seeger, like stuff like that, kind of like in that ballpark.
Yeah. It's like that's not always for like the kids. Yeah,
like the 18 to 21 college kid. That's not maybe the most marketable, but I mean, like.
I mean, they dig it when they hear it, but it's not a demographic that they run, you know, it's that like run towards my kind of music.
Yeah, it's not like built-in crowd kind of thing, right? Is that what you mean? So you're trying to like weave a web around that, or like be smart enough to not necessarily focus on that market? Is that what you mean?
I just, what I mean by that is, I know that my kind of music is kind of a slower growth than that. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna blow up like shout out to my boy Wim, like who,
yeah, love that guy.
who he makes a very like pop driven. He has a great voice.
Fantastic.
Like, he can put on a party at a frat show. He could play by himself at like
venue solo.
He can play in a big theater and kills it. And it really works for a certain Athens, Georgia demographic.
Yes, and when you hear the song, it's like, oh yeah, this could go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I mean like, and I know that his path is not my path.
Of course,
you know?
Of course.
It's like my. I would love to be able to not only play full band, but be able to go around the country with a guitar and a piano and play for a seated crowd and tell stories about the songs. Like, that's my spot.
Which is a whole different thing, and there's a whole thing for that. You know what I mean? You could book those tours. I think you do great at that. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love that stuff.
You know, like Eddie's Attic, even stuff like that. You know what I mean? Kind of make that sort of run instead of the like frat run, or you know what I mean, or the big ticketed thing. That's interesting, man.
Yeah,
and that's cool. That's kind of cool that you say that, like, his path doesn't have to be the same as yours. Like, kind of like I was talking earlier, like the comparison is the thief of joy kind of thing. Like, you see some bands where it starts happening really fast on their stuff. It's like, damn, dude, that's so sick. But like, if you can win in a different way, it's cool.
Yeah,
which is smart that you're thinking about that. That's the years of the road to you, man.
Well, I mean, it is, and it's like I'm 32. Like I'm not like. I'm still young, but I'm not like a young gun.
Yeah, you're not like fresh off the streets or anything.
Right, yeah, like fresh out of school or anything like that.
32 is pretty damn young though, man. You still love it.
Yeah, I mean, and so I think about it more in like, all right, this is my second record. I hope to have maybe 3, 4, 5 by the time I'm 40, and like I kind of was like 10 records in my lifetime. Like I don't want to work. I don't want to like put out a whole bunch of records because at this point, like, discography is lost on people.
Yes, it surely is, man. It's just not a thing anymore, right?
So like I want to make like a 9-10 song record, and I want to put everything into it. Yeah,
that was one thing I noticed about The Joke of Life. I was like, I love it. Like, it was either 9 or 10, and it was like 39 minutes. I was like, yes, that's concise. You know what I mean? Like, these songs are thought out. This isn't like a 55-minute, 13 song, like some flab on here. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like you put a lot of thought into it, a lot of singles, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That was all purposeful?
I mean, yeah. If you're putting out a record, every song is a single.
Yeah, it should be, right?
You know, I mean, that's really how it is now. And I don't want to stop making records because I'm afraid of people's attention spans.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, like, I get it. And you should definitely put out singles, put out EPs. Like, if you're feeling inspired just to make a selection of songs. Yeah. But records are a piece of art in themselves.
Yeah, we can't let the record die. It's
we can't.
The thing,
We cannot let the record. If we can do anything with your podcast right now,
let's keep the album alive.
Keep the album alive.
Well, I agree. It's just a whole different thing when you go in to make one. Like, even making an EP, like, it can feel like just 6 songs that are just like, like these aren't that related. But you go in and you're like, all right, we're making an album. These 10 have got to make sense together. Like, this has got to be a thing, And Joke of Life sounds like a thing, dude. It's all very, very, sounds like it was recorded in the same place. I know you said you went between the two, but like, to me, if you hadn't told me that, it's like, sounds like it was all recorded the same place, same kind of way, as like the sonic themes are there. You know what I mean? Which is great and huge, and that makes it an album and not 10 unrelated songs. Right.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah. So you were saying though,
10 songs at work, but I don't want it to be like, you heard one, you heard them all.
Yes, yeah. Now that is a different thing too, where they're 2 similar themes.
Yeah.
They're not like that at all. I wouldn't say that at all, because even like Desperate Man is one that I listen to where I'm like, all right, that's like, that one strikes me as like I don't know if it was even, but like lead single is what that one makes me feel. And then Joke of Life kind of brings it all around. Like, oh, once I listen to this, it kind of brings the irony into the whole record where it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like The Joke of Life, I love that as a premise for a record, because like it kind of gives everything a little edge where it's not too serious. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was purposeful at all, or you want to tell me anything about the name, or was that track written and then you said, oh, this is the album name, or was that the album name and you wrote a track and you get kind of that stuff about it?
Oh, yeah.
Just to transition us in there a little bit.
No, great question. And I actually just touched and wrote on this, like on my on my Instagram. Every once in a while, I'm like so much into marketing mode that I keep thinking about what works.
Okay.
And I just wrote this thing the other day because I was like, fuck it. Like, I just want to do this and feel like myself.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, what way, shape, and form I can work on this platform to reach people.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm like, no, I'm just going to write as like, this is me.
As me, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You know? And I wrote about, this was 2021. Futurebirds were doing a lot of touring where we were like riding in separate cars, all meeting someplace to play like 2 or 3 shows in a weekend. We were doing a lot of weekend warrior, like private party, fraternity party, proper venue show, and then we're back home.
Okay, interesting.
And so Thomas had this, he was borrowing his dad's truck, we called it Midnight.
Okay.
And it was like that little black Nissan, what I can't even remember what kind of truck it was.
Like one of those little Honda trucks?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like that, but a Nissan version.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And we were using that to pull the trailer with all the gear.
Yeah.
And so we were like driving to Midnight, 0 legroom, like the worst.
Oh, Frontier.
The
Nissan Frontier.
I think it,
right?
Like, 0 legroom. Yes, the Frontier. Yeah. I know my man needs legroom.
Yeah, dude, I can't do it anymore. I had a Nissan Frontier in high school is why I said that. I was like, it's got to be the little Nissan truck.
Yeah, it's something. So like, I remember one time we were rolling like 5 deep in that Nissan.
In the Nissan
just
Frontier?
driving up to Virginia, and we stopped at an Outback Steakhouse, and we were just listening to 2 Chainz, and we were talking about the difference between 2 Chainz and Kanye.
Okay.
And and like Kiffy would always listen to the birthday song with 2 Chainz and Kanye, and he always I every single time would skip the Kanye verse.
Really?
Like he just would know exactly where to skip the entire Kanye verse. He just was a huge 2 Chainz fan.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the difference between the 2 guys, and Carter was like, like 2 Chainz he just kind of gets the joke of life more. And I was like, something started brewing there.
Yeah.
And so I went back and I wrote the song.
Okay. That like close to that time period? Right then?
Close to that time period. So it was after I recorded the first, I think the joke of life and Always Never You. Those 2 songs were the ones that I recorded after the other 8.
After the other 8. Okay.
Yeah. So they trickled in after.
And did you think you were done with the 8, or you were still looking for songs?
No, I was still looking for songs, and I had Always Never You. That was already there, but Joke of Life was actually the last song written.
Okay.
And
well, that's cool.
And then I thought, well, that's a great title. And I'm like, well, that's a great opener.
Yeah.
And so then we decided to, Cody, who designed everything of mine that you have seen.
Really?
And he's a long songwriting partner and friend of mine
from Mississippi,
right?
Mississippi, okay, yeah, you mentioned him.
And we talked, we were talking so much about the track list.
Okay. Getting it right to order and
getting the order right. Yeah.
It's important. It's got to flow for an album.
It's
makes
important.
It an album.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, and the people that notice will notice.
Yes,
You're like, to the masses, they're going to pick a couple songs they like and move on. Yeah. But to the people that notice, they'll notice. And Cody was like, imagine the Joke of Life as like as a theatrical production.
Yeah.
He's like, there's a lot of there's a he perspective, a she perspective. I kind of moved some stories outside of myself for this record. And he was like, and then Misty Eyes is kind of like that's life, buddy. You just work on through it, you know? And so while that song was a bop and worked, I put it more on the side A part of the record. We ended up making it the last song.
I was about to say, I thought it was like 9 or 10, Misty Eyes, right?
Misty Eyes is 10.
Okay.
And so because it's like the Joke of Life is sort of the prelude, the opener, the big, there's like the big swell at the end. And then Misty Eyes kind of comes back to like, all right, well, we've been through this range of emotions and we're just kind of like, that's life.
That's it.
That's
so true. Dude, I like that you're thinking about that, because I kind of try to think about that. And a lot of the great records do, man. They have that flow to them. And I wrote I took a few notes. I even wrote string counter melody at the end. The counter melody of the strings at the end is great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that like outro or whatever that you would call that.
Yeah,
It's
Annie
like when
Leaf.
Annie Leaf. Oh, dude, I was gonna ask that. I should have known that. That makes so much sense if you're at Chase Park.
Yeah,
Dude, that whole when the strings start coming in near the end, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to a different spot here, which is cool.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
awesome. That's cool that you're thinking about it like that though, and ending on Misty Eyes is kind of funny. Like, well, that's it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a fun. Like the Misty Eyes itself is fun, and it was also kind of like almost a message to the inner child, you know, being like, hey, man, like it's gonna be some bumps in the road. You just gotta keep pushing through it, and that's the way life goes.
Joke of life, man.
And so it is. It's almost in on the joke because it's kind of like the. All right.
Dang it.
Dang it.
You dang nabbit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the theme is so strong on the record, which, you know, obviously makes it a record. But like when you start with the joke of life, it's like, say you start with Misty Eyes. It's like, oh, you could see that title and be like, it's a little too serious. You know what I mean? Or like having not listened to the song or whatever. But like you don't title the album right. It's like, oh, this is like, it's too serious for me or whatever. You don't give it a fair chance. But you see the joke of life and it's like, oh, there's no edge on this. You know, it's like there's like a free ball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is cool. I don't know if I explained that well, but in my head it makes sense. I don't know if it sounds right.
No, I mean, you're just saying that like that title comes across as, you know, you go like, oh, there's something to this without listening to it.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes, which is great.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that, you know, like a lot of the classic art that we listen to, there's something about it that's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. What do you mean by that?
There's just a little like. There's, you know, it's got a cut to it. There's an edge, you know, and I think that art that is valuable and lasts. I mean, you think about like, you think about like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Like
that was a reach, right?
You know,
what I mean?
it's like. This shit is fucking wacky.
Yeah, this is weird.
This is a wacky record.
You took a shot in the dark here.
Yeah, but I'm like, but they have so many amazing songs that, you know, that there are acoustic versions playing in coffee shops all over the nation right now.
You know? Yeah.
But like they're classic, amazing songs, but they got weird.
Yeah, like
know?
Surely at one point in time in the studio, there was like somebody around them had to be like, this shit's pretty weird, you guys know, right? You know, and they were just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like same kind of thing, right? That edge is important to keep it exciting, you know. It's like, and at no point in listening to the record was I ever like, this Seeger heard it, you know what I mean? It still felt new, which is important, you know what I mean? It was never like, because I listen to like, or sometimes I see the bands where they're going for their genre so hard that it's like, it just has no excitement to me. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but it's like the bands where it's like, oh yeah, we're pop punk, you know what I mean? It's like, we're this, we're that, you know. It's like, do that, but like, don't do it too hard, you know what I mean? It's like, if I've already heard it, it won't be exciting.
Yeah.
But what you're doing here, the whole concept of it, having the joke of life be the title, the song sounding new and just exciting is cool. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to follow. It's just following the song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That
don't
comes first.
Don't put yourself in the box, but like just follow. Where's the song leading you? Like, is it going this way? Is it going this way? Is it going to have like a bunch of percussion in it? Like, I don't know.
Let it happen.
Find
if it
out.
Does. Yeah.
It's like Always Never You. I was like Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
I want it to sound like Pet Sounds to the point where Nate and I were listening to. I'm like, what's working here? He's like, oh, well, they didn't like. They just went the LCR, right? LCR mixing, left, center, right.
Yeah.
So you only had 3 choices.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that makes this so much easier.
Yeah.
We'll just put the tambourine to the right. We'll put this vocal to the left. You know, like.
Yeah.
And then
That's cool.
And it made so much sense. But we were like, all right, I'm not afraid of that. Like where I'm like, Beach Boys song. Yeah. You know, I'm like, this one, Springsteen song.
Yeah.
This one, Warren Zevon. You know, I'm like, I want to go, let's go fully that route if that is what the song needs.
Requires, yes.
Yeah.
And pulling from the influence is one of the best things you can do. You know what I mean? It's like, love that. That's great. And I heard there was one or two, I actually wrote it down. Which one did I write it for? So I wrote Desperate Man. I wrote some of those verses are Springsteen-y. I was like, yo, when he gets low in his voice like that, I'm like, that makes me think of Springsteen. I love that. That's a compliment, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool that you're pulling from that kind of stuff. I mean, like, how much talking about that did you do? Because like Ryan, I've worked with Nate a little bit, but I've worked with Ryan a lot, and Ryan's a great guy for just like catching the vibe and like sending you down the right trail. Like he's really good at that. So is that easy to kind of work with on those sort of influences and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, as you know, just tracking a bunch of stuff, like when you track the songs, you kind of throw it all out there and then like clean up the mess
Decide
later.
Yeah. What do we actually need?
And so a lot of the time spent editing, finding the parts that were working, things like that, I worked with Ryan on.
Okay, yeah. He's great. He's so fucking good at that, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of his strong suits is arranging and like cutting through the shit. Like, mute that. Like, you don't need that. You know what I mean? Right? Would you say so?
Yeah.
I wonder if he said his baby. I think his baby was due yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I don't know.
I need to text. Well, he's probably too busy, but anyways, love Ryan. He's a
Ryan
good
and
cat.
Rosie.
We love you.
If you had your baby, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Hopefully you hear this.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're too busy to be listening to podcasts.
But Ryan, I told Ryan, I was like, Ryan, you co-produced this with me.
Yeah.
I want you to know that you did because Ryan really just took it on himself. He's like, I love these songs. I wanna help you with this. And we figured out what was working, what wasn't. We figured out, I mean, like we worked on so much together that it became this cool experience where Ryan was like, "Hey, have you ever about that Beatles trick where they play the piano at half speed, but then when you turn up double time, it sounds like a harpsichord?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
that sounds like something you'd say.
No, I've never done that.
Yeah.
And so we did that with Always Never You.
Really?
Yeah. I would play this part halftime.
Yeah.
And then when you speed it up, it sounds like this little twinkly harpsichord sound.
Did he speed it up with like a tape machine, or how did he speed it up?
I think just using Pro Tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to go listen back to that. I don't think I noticed. I thought it was just a harpsichord, probably.
Yeah.
That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
All right, so how much of it, when you're recording with Ryan, I guess we can go into the recording a little bit here. Actually, let me check my camera right quick and make sure we're still going. Hold on. Oh, no, pull my charger. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, quick break. When you're recording with Ryan at Chase Park, and I guess whatever stuff you did with Nate, are you guys doing it? I assume you're not doing it like band, right? Like are you guys tracking together? I assume not. Are you starting with keys and like building it from there?
We started with band basics.
Okay.
Yeah. So
drums, bass, guitar, and you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, just simple as it got.
Yeah.
I mean, so the lineup would change around. Like half the record Will Hefner drummed on, half the record Andrew McFarlane drummed on.
Yeah.
Bass was split between Ryan Engelberger, Ben Hackett, Taylor Cotton.
Okay.
Lars was pretty much all guitar, besides Taylor offering some other guitar stuff.
Okay. What did Taylor play on? Do you know?
He played some. He played like 12-string and some rhythm guitar stuff, but like all the lead guitar stuff was mostly Lars.
Yeah, he's so good at it. That just makes sense. Where do you draw the line? All right, so I know you said you write some on acoustic, and you mentioned that a couple times. I assume that you wrote them all on piano, but I guess that's just because I kind of think of you as a piano cat. But like, where do you draw the line? Like, you're never playing guitar under these, are you? Or you play acoustic sometimes, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I do play guitar. I'll play rhythm guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, a rhythm guitar or acoustic guitar.
Yeah. And how many are you writing on like acoustic versus piano? Or no thought towards it, or
it depends. It really depends. I mean, I haven't really thought too much about it. I would say that once I really got more into piano after playing with Jimbo, and I mean, my first record I did maybe 2 or 3 piano songs.
Okay.
And the rest of it was acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So this record flip-flopped, and it was very piano heavy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I think it just depended how it came to me.
Didn't think about it too hard.
Yeah, I didn't think about it too hard. Just whatever was channeling, or I mean, some songs I'd play on guitar and then move to piano or whatever.
Yeah, like something like Desperate Man. It wouldn't surprise me if you were like, I wrote that on guitar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You think you did, or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Interesting. That makes sense. And then something like Joke of Life, if you said, I wrote that on piano, I'd be like, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
I did, and especially because like all the movement is very chromatic.
Yeah. Okay.
And which, like, for me, I don't, outside of like cowboy
basic
chords.
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about.
I don't either, my man.
Yeah, I don't really know too much.
Love it.
Yeah,
Keeps you free.
yeah. I mean, I know. I know enough chords to make a song.
Yeah.
And and like
the white and the black keys, man.
Yeah, maybe a couple tricks.
Yeah.
But but like I always love, but piano feels more free to do this chromatic movement where you're like, oh yeah, but like it's like a D augmented, and that's cool, but then it moves to a B minor. So it's just like it feels really natural to me.
Interesting. Okay. And when you're recording, you guys are doing them as a band, like you were saying. Lars mainly on guitar, I think, and you track all 10 of them together as a band, or did some of them come out in different ways, or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for Joke of Life and Always Never You, it was just me, Ryan, and Andrew.
Okay, gotcha.
And we just got piano, drums, and bass for Joke of Life. And in fact, that was take one.
Really?
Take
Joke
one.
of Life?
Yeah.
Dude, good deal.
Yeah.
Fuck
Take one. So like my vocal, piano, drums, and bass. I think maybe Ryan punched in a couple of things on bass, but that was the keeper.
The vocalist?
That was the keeper.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So like
fuck?
there's drum bleed into the vocals and the keys. Yeah.
Dude, okay, so you're in the A room at Chase Park and you're just out there, I guess, not even in that little side booth?
No.
Dude, that's cool, bro.
On the piano in there.
I'm going to listen back to that because I think shit like that's cool too. That makes me think of like, that's just how they used to do it. That's dope, man.
Yeah. And so like the slap back on the vocal goes into the snare drum too.
Gotcha. So going through everything.
So I love that about how that song turned out.
Yeah,
because it's got very much like the, like John Lennon solo stuff,
like that's some Tom Petty shit, singing the whole album one take, man. That's cool, dude. That's so dope. Interesting. I never would have noticed that. I mean, it sounds great. So like, I just assumed you overdubbed most vocals. What other songs did you do like that? Did you do? So you said you did. Which ones with those 3-piece?
That and Always Never You, and Always Never You. That was one that I was really stressing about too. But
what about it?
Just I don't know. Like I was like, I don't know. Maybe the drum thing is weird, and Andrew was like, I'll just kind of stick with this.
Okay.
And Ryan was like, I got a cool walk-in bass line thing. And then after that, once we got basic down, I mean, I was playing electric guitar, just the chords and the little finger picking part.
Yeah.
And then after that, we pulled out the whole basket of auxiliary percussion.
Okay, yeah,
and
love
we
it.
used every fucking thing, in there,
I love
including the clown horn.
I don't know if I heard it.
It's in there.
It's in there.
It's in there. Yeah, it's
now
like that.
I'm gonna have to listen
think
to
of
it.
everything you do.
No way.
Yeah, because we were just like pet sounds.
Yeah, pet sounds. Yeah, go crazy with the percussion.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. That's so much fun, dude. That's cool that you guys did it like that, and then you were able to kind of build on it with like, whoever's coming in just played guitar, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of how you went about it. Was that a process that you do again, or like was there anything that you learned from this record that was like, oh, I'd probably do that different next time? I always like to ask this because like it's kind of just cool to learn about like how people are making records and like, people listening don't really quite know the process like me and you do. So like, I don't know, was there any takeaways from this album on recording that was like, oh, album 3, I'm gonna do this?
Album 3, one thing that I'm gonna do is, Nate and I've already talked about it because Nate and I want to work together again.
Yeah.
And we've already been just discussing the fact that like I had a massive personnel on this record.
Okay.
And this time I want to try to keep it smaller.
Ooh, interesting.
And just start with whatever instrument I'm playing.
Yeah.
And drums and bass. And
what's the theory behind that? Just I want to hear how much of the song is already there within those elements. Ooh. Make sure you're working on the strongest foundation kind of thing?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that right, like you can add all the fucking overdubs you want and, you're just stacking shit up. But if you're going to try to track it kind of bare bones first. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And for Nate, he was having to do with the mixing, it's like, he's getting all of this stuff and having to tweak and, alter the sounds in some way.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to like bake it into the cake a little more.
Interesting.
As opposed to just put a lot of frosting on it.
Well said.
Yeah.
Very well said, my friend.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I feel like that's kind of one of those things that comes with time too. It's like you learn little things where it's like, oh, like I'm not making this easier for the mix engineer to mix. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not doing them any favors. Like I'm not thinking about it, but like it sounds like you're thinking about it a little more now, right?
Yeah.
So that the cake tastes better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and also just if this is the drum sound we're going for, we'll go ahead and have it recorded that way.
Yes.
You know,
right on there. No sampling. No, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Or him having to go into a plug-in and like put the snare drum in this room this reverb room that's created. I mean, yeah, you can still do that later, but we're just trying to do more baking into the cake as possible.
Interesting.
So that way we're hearing rough mixes back and we're like, yeah, this is already dope.
Yeah, like this is a song right here.
Yeah.
That's interesting, dude. I think that'll be a cool experiment for you because it'll probably show you which ones are which, you know what I mean? Like you'll be like, oh, this one's sounding great already. This one's going to take work. That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be very interested to hear that. Do you think third record, you're probably going to need a year or two probably? Or are you planning on working on it immediately or like you still got to tour this one for a little while? What's the plan for that?
Definitely going to tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll be just really a lot this month. I'm going to do.
Really? What are you doing this month?
So Jordan Reynolds from Rose Hotel,
which is also Ryan's in that band as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
She's also on Strolling Bones.
Okay.
We're doing some touring together, and so we're going to be in Asheville on the 13th.
Okay. Where are you guys playing in Asheville?
We're playing at this place called Eulogy Burial Brewing Company.
No, I've never heard of it.
It's their venue and it's downtown Asheville.
Oh, cool, man.
So then the Flatiron in Greensboro.
Oh, I hear Flatiron's great. I'm playing there in August. Do you like it?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay. I hear it's a really great small cap.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, let me know because I heard that a great local built-in kind of thing and people show up out there. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So a little touring with you said Rose Hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did they play at you with the theater? I think they did, right?
They did in December.
Okay, one time they have.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've never seen her, but I know Ryan, has mentioned them. Mm. So that's very cool. And any other shows other than those two?
Yeah, we're doing Charlotte.
Nice.
At the Visualite next week. Yeah.
Visualite's huge, dude.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So, yeah, we're doing Visualite. We do. We'll have our friends Holler Choir play on that, and also in Greensboro as well. And then the next week we're doing Greenville.
Greenville, love Greenville. Radio Room?
Not Radio Room. We're doing Swanson's Warehouse.
Oh, which is cool, I hear.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller caps. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good.
And then
regional tour going here.
Yeah.
It's great.
Royal American.
Yeah, classic.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest stage in the East.
Smallest stage in the East, yeah.
I don't hate it, though.
No, I love Royal American.
Yeah.
And then we'll play Athfest at Nowhere Bar.
Let's go. What night is that?
Saturday the 22nd.
I think that Nowhere Bar, as of last year, I'd never been to it before, but like Nowhere Bar, underrated Athfest spot in my opinion, because like you don't hear people talk about. Everybody's hyped about the Georgia Theater downstairs. Everybody hyped about the main stage, but low key, like Nowhere is like a key spot. So that'll be dope.
Yeah,
man. Saturday night, that'll be
so
great.
It'll be Rose Hotel, me, Elijah, Pink Stones.
Yeah, dude.
So that'll be that lineup.
Yeah, you should play with Pinkstone some. I just feel like that lineup would work nicely. Like you two guys on the road would be nice.
Yeah, we played at the first time I played at the Earl was in September, and I played with Hunter and them. And
that went pretty well?
Yeah, that went great.
Those are good dudes. I need to get them on here. I've talked to them a bunch, and Hunter's such a good dude. I just never have asked him to come on. I need to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah,
now,
Hunter and Adam need to come on.
Yeah, they would love that, wouldn't they? I think they're good talkers. It'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome, Suke. So you'll do that until like the Futurebirds tour kind of revs back off, and I imagine August with the semester kind of vibe, or
mid July is actually the next Futurebirds show. Okay, we just played in Clayton, Georgia last night, and that's the last. We have a big break.
Let's go. So, you guys probably need it, man. You guys stay out. Good, man.
So I decided to go on a
to fill your break up with more shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I'm also, I'll be in the process of moving down to Atlanta. My girlfriend
Okay.
just got a house in Atlanta.
Cool, man.
So,
Cool. Good deal, dude.
so yeah. So
That's
my
badass.
almost 4-year stint in Athens is
coming to an end?
Is coming to an end.
At least you'll be close, man. At least
Yeah.
you'll be close.
I know. I was like, I told Elijah, I was like, I pulled your move. I put out my record and then moved to Atlanta.
I see you later.
See you later. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
No, but it's cool. And there's something kind of nice about that where I'm like, all right, I did, I'm just reflecting on Athens and thinking like, I did the stuff that I set out here to do.
Yeah. When you moved from Mississippi, you pretty much checked off all your boxes, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do in Athens. Great.
Yeah. I mean, and so I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
And it's always right here. I will always be back to
Surely.
record and write, and a lot of the people who usually play in the band with me are here. So
yeah.
I mean, like,
you're gonna be around.
yeah.
Well, that's great, man. I bet that feels really good to like, I guess, kind of count. I don't know how to say it, but like, revel into like, all right, I moved here from Mississippi as a somewhat a kid, and you know, checked off pretty much everything I need to do. You probably didn't even know you're gonna put out 2 solo records by then. You know what I mean? It's like you've probably done more than you thought you'd do. That's great.
Yeah,
I mean, damn, Rhineman, Red Rocks.
Yeah,
you check some boxes, man. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, dude, and it was weird because Athens, like, the longer I stay here, like, I do get it when people move away. I'm like, all right, like, I've done this. You know, you've done the town. Like, there's not much more. Like, you can't exactly. You know, you've done Athfest, you've done all this stuff. Like, it's not exactly a new experience every night anymore. So, like, I get it when people move away, especially like Atlanta or something. It's like, oh, more opportunities and stuff. So, you think you're gonna miss Athens a little bit though?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Just the memes and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just coming from places like Oxford and like my neighborhood that I was living in Jackson when I was playing shows. I lived in this neighborhood called Fondren, and it was just like, you know, it had the town feel. You go to the coffee shop, you'd hold court with the same people.
Yeah.
Like, it was. I love that. I love having parking spaces.
Yeah.
You know. Ones that you don't have to pay for.
Yes.
And so, like, I love that, but I'm looking forward to moving to the city and going, like, honestly, I kind of want to re-welcome those kind of gigs that I talked about playing before.
Yeah, the bar stuff where it's
I want to go out and play solo again.
Yeah.
And just like, I want to go out and play songs. I just want to go out and perfect them and like fuck it. I mean, you know, like,
no big pressure on it.
If the brewery just has me for a couple hours, like, whatever. Like, I just want to go hang out and play more.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah, man. Get back to that thing that you started with, man. You know? It's easy to get lost from that, you know?
Get in touch with it. I mean, I did the rooftop residency.
At the theater?
At the theater.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago.
How was that?
It was nice. It got hot sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it was summer, but.
Of course.
But, you know, I loved how much better that made me.
Interesting. Just like, what do you mean? Just like showing up was it weekly or monthly?
I mean, the only way I really practice is if I have a rehearsal to prepare.
To play for a gig.
To prepare for a gig or to play the gig, you know?
It's like hard to get it together when it's like, I don't really have a reason, but you had a reason.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I kind of want to get back to that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. And I think Atlanta would be a good spot to do that, man. There's places to play there.
And then show up with the new songs and just like, nobody cares here. I'll play it twice during this 2-hour set, you know? Like, and just get back in touch, like, just get reps in.
Yeah,
you know? Because like I feel so good now that I can, like, the Windjammer set, like we were talking about. Windjammer, you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like beach party crowd,
Pretty
a lot of college kids there.
A lot of them.
And, you know, and I'm showing up solo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but where something like that used to terrify me, I'm like,
let's go.
All right, motherfuckers, I'm going to do my thing. And this is it. Like, I'm going to play my songs and you can like it or not.
Yeah.
But
I'm playing them.
Yeah. And, you know, so there's a level of fearlessness that getting reps in like that has taught me.
Yes.
And I don't feel above that.
I love that.
You know?
Yeah. And it's like kind of like the thing we've been talking about the whole time, like the Hard Knocks thing. Like everybody wants it to come out and happen so quick and like everything take off, but like until you've damn played them songs to people that don't care and you've built the confidence to be like, I don't give a fuck if you don't care. Like I like playing this, you know. It's like that's the bread and the butter, you know. The journey is more fun than making it there, you know what I mean? Which is cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, like comedians are invincible after bombing 1,000 times.
Right. Yeah, that's such a great example. Like you have to become like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm gonna do my thing tonight. You know.
Yeah,
that's so cool, man. I'm glad you're in touch with that because you kind of lose it. You know, the bigger, in quotation, the bigger the gigs get. You know what I mean? It's like, you find yourself like complaining about like green room situations and little shit. It's like, man, dude, we should just play for nothing. Just happy to play for nothing. You know. So getting back in touch with that, man, that's key. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'd love to see you. I mean, like, even more touring stuff. I mean, like, I think you could do the whole, like, acoustic tour. I think that would work. Like, 6 dates, 10 dates, like, Eddie's Attic, like, Flatiron. Like, I don't know how you do it, but, like, I'm sure there's 10 venues across SEC, Southeast, excuse me, that would be stoked for that. And people would show out, dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, living rooms.
Underrated.
It's completely underrated.
Yes. That's something I think about when I think of, like, Elijah and those cats. Like, they've done, like, the backyard like house parties acoustic thing really well, and it seems to work with them, like streams and people listening to shit.
Yeah, I mean, people listening, people buying merch, making
vinyl,
making money, and not like settling up with somebody and being like, all right, well, we took all this money away from the door and here's your spot, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's what happened to me this weekend. We did I probably shouldn't say where we did, but it's a famous spot in Atlanta, and the room fee was just ridiculous, bro. I was like, damn, we're kind of getting fucked on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the amount of tickets we have to sell to make this room make sense is like, does not make sense. But yeah, kind of like you said, no room fees, like just playing for the vibe. You know, another band, you know, Easy Honey? I feel like Easy Honey's done a really good job of this. Like they went to Hawaii and they played like a skate park. You know what I mean? It's like that, like kind of fit with their vibe, you know? And just like backyard parties and stuff. Like there's a whole market there that like, I haven't looked into, but like something like the way you can do with your album would be so sick.
Yeah.
And you probably sell more vinyls than that than you will damn selling 200 tickets at fucking Poorhouse or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, people listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole different thing.
I mean, I'm not like, I don't feel shame about that because it's just like, because I know what I do. I know that like my thing is, it's new music, but it's from an old soul. It's got old.
You do
bones
have an old soul.
too,
you give me old soul vibes.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and I know that is for a certain group of people.
Yeah.
And they may not be going to a bar waiting around to watch me play at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait around and watch me play at 11 o'clock.
Ready to go to sleep almost.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. Like when we played the Futurebirds set and the Windjammers started at 7:45, we were done at 9:30. We're like, this is awesome.
Early loadout. Fuck yeah.
You know? Like so I did some living room stuff with my friend Pete because Pete his name is Justin Peter Kinkelschuster.
Justin Peter Kinkelschuster. What a name. What a name. Love it.
So Pete, I did some living room tours with him.
Okay.
And it was just like, he had an acoustic guitar, I had an acoustic guitar. Yeah. We traded songs back and forth.
Oh, that's cool.
We didn't even set up a PA or anything. We were just in living rooms.
Really?
And we were just, everybody there bought merch.
Yeah.
Everybody there was a dedicated fan.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like you feel loved and invited to the space, and then your friend is like, hey, this is what y'all made from the door tonight. And we go, oh, really?
We made something at the door? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you know.
And
the door.
Because, like, the door, the actual door.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, I talk about this sometimes with our band. It's like, what is the, I don't know how to put it, but, like, the engagement cost of, like, you know, like, you've obviously played the fraternity shows to 1,000 people that are, like, somewhat listening versus playing to 20 people that are listening. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, you could almost cover as much ground in a different way as if those 20 people in your living room are buying merch and, like, actually getting vinyls and, like, actually tapped in and, like, trying to understand what Desperate Man and The Joke of Life is about versus, you know, a bar where somebody's just, like, slosh, like, Springsteen. You know what I mean? It's like, So, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, it's cool that you could weave both webs in a sort of way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, I work on that.
Yeah.
And I know that like I played 2 or 3 songs with Futurebirds backing me up at the Windjammer.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of those people are just going to remember that we did that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, interesting.
They're not, I don't know if they're going to remember me playing Misty Eyes by myself on the piano or whatever,
Gotcha.
you know? I mean, or me just playing acoustic.
Yeah.
And if it got them, great.
Yeah.
Then that's more than I could expect.
It all goes back to that confidence we're talking about, like you're doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Either you like it or don't. And that's another thing for you. Like kind of like you talking about knowing your niche. Like I feel like if your songs don't hold up on the acoustic, like you're not doing it right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like yours are starting there, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you guys, nobody's been like, oh, I saw Spencer, but he didn't have the full band playing the strings. You know what I mean? Like yours, the song is there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool, which is important. Yeah.
And when you're the man, like, you know, it's like you do have to go like, man, sometimes the only way I really get paid is playing by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you have to, comes down to a financial thing too.
Yes.
I'm like, man, I wish I could have heard the full band tonight. I'm like, well, if you want to book them a hotel on Memorial Day weekend in Charleston, I'd be happy.
I would surely be down.
I'd be happy to bring them, you know?
Hotel ain't cheap.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to sell merch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make money. Like
Mhm.
I'm trying to do this as a living.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm thankful that I'm in an auxiliary position in Futurebirds, but
Yes.
they still bring me on, you
That's
know?
so great, dude.
And so I recognize that that's the perspective, because I recognize what they go through, having hotels booked, having a van rented, having we get
you
like
see the stress and everything.
Well, I mean, and I see how much money goes into it before
Yeah.
we even show up to the gig.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I recognize, like, I don't want to cart a band around unless I can hold at least like a minimum standard of like, this is what you're going to get from me every day.
Yeah.
You're going to stay somewhere comfortable. And that's what I got for you.
Yeah, because they kind of have to be there living, you know. And we're talking about cats like Ryan and, you know, people that have children in houses and shit. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like we got to be doing this thing if we're doing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, dude. That's smart that you're thinking about all that. That's so cool. Like, and it's cool that you can do both. You know what I mean? It's like you're in such a rare position where you can be in a band. There's not many cats that can be in a band as big as Futurebirds and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you should consider yourself very lucky. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, dude, all right, let me piggyback off this. We're kind of getting into closing notes. It's been 87 minutes. If you're still listening, we appreciate it.
Wow.
I know, yeah, dude, that flew by. I didn't expect we'd go much over an hour at all, but we were well into it because it's going great. Tell me about, all right, the vinyl. You've got vinyl, right?
Yes.
Echo Bass?
Classic City Vinyl.
Classic City Vinyl. I'm not familiar with them. Are they?
Used to be, what was the name of it before? The
No, Kindercore.
Kindercore. Used to
right?
be Kindercore.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know they changed their name. That's interesting.
yeah, Classic City Vinyl. I think that was an investment upon like George and them.
Okay.
So yeah, going through Strolling Bones goes through Classic City Vinyl.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Where Pinkstone and them work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. So you got vinyl. Have you taken it to like let's see, what are the record stores? Wuxtree and Lo-Fi yet?
Yes. Wuxtree in Loyoyo. There's got some in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
End of All Music.
Let's go. Any on the website? You got a website?
Got website. It's on the Strolling Bones website. About to put all the merch up there. I got hats. I got CDs, shirt. I got playing cards.
Playing cards? What's on it? What do you mean? Like what's
They're unique. It's a unique set of playing cards that my buddy Cody designed. So
Really?
it's like it's got lyrics from the songs
Oh,
on
dude,
them.
that's cool,
like,
bro.
It's got. I'm on all the face cards, but just yeah, it's all different.
That is a cool concept, dude. It kind of lines up with the joke of life, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like kind of like that works perfectly.
Yeah, kind
Dude,
of
I'm
like
gonna have to give me some of that.
yeah,
That's cool,
just like
man.
the hand you're dealt, you know.
Yeah, okay, dude. Fuck, dude, that's great marketing, bro. You need to lean into that for some short-term content or short reels.
Oh,
because that's cool. You know what I mean?
already been made.
Let's go.
Once it's on the online store.
Good. All right. Well, if you guys are hearing this, go get you some Spencer merch, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Give me the closing notes. Like if you had anything left to tell the people, like what to go check out. Obviously, the album. Anything else you wanted to say, or any sort of promo you want to drop out? Just drop it right now, and we'll close this guy off afterwards.
Yeah. Just I would say with anything, just if there's somebody that you like, take the time to listen to the record from start to finish.
Preach.
Whether it's a long drive or whether you're just sitting at home by yourself, just listen to it from start to finish, because like Jameson and I know how much work it takes to make an entire record.
It'll mean more to them than you'll ever know.
Yeah, it'll mean more than they'll ever know. I know that we all will listen to a single and be like, that song is great, but like, if you can just sit down with something start to finish and really give it your full attention, that means a lot.
Bars, man. Well said. Well said. I could not agree more. That'll mean more to the artist than you'll ever know. So. Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure, man. I really enjoyed this, dude.
Yeah.
I very rarely, I know I haven't done it in a while, but very rarely do they go over the hour 10 mark. We're in an hour 30. So.
Well, you've been out of the podcast game for a minute.
I've been out of the game for a while.
So, you're ready to talk.
Well, you're a good talker. I mean, you made it easy. The conversation flowed, man. You did a great job. Well, thank you so much for coming on, brother. Thank you all for listening. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, any of that shit. We've got clips on TikTok. We've got all that stuff. We've got merch if you want to support the show. We also have merch on JamesonTank.com for the show. That's really the only income from the show, so any of that stuff helps. Also get you some Spencer stuff while you're at it. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. Let's give him a wave for the thumbnail. Spencer, you ready? Big smile.
Hey.
Big smile. Thank y'all for listening. Been Jameson on the Rocks. I think episode 118. Peace.